In this video, you will learn how to create the relative frequency distribution and how to plot those data to visualize the frequency histogram. I will use this data set to create the frequency distribution. Based on recent data, the data set lists the cell phone screen time for 30 US adults. I copy this data into Excel to prepare it for creating a relative frequency distribution. My data set from the lecture slides I previously showed you. So if you see this data set is not organized, that means it's not even increasing order or decreasing. The first step is to order the data set. Our data set contains 30 data points, so we need to sort them in increasing order. To do this, select the data set, then go to the data tab and choose the ascending order to organize the data from smallest to largest. Then you will see that this data is organized, smallest to largest. Once the data set is sorted in increasing order, we can proceed to calculate 5 key values needed for creating the relative frequency distribution. And first value is minimum, max, and range, and number of classes, and class width. See how to find these values. First, I will type here number of classes are given 7. That means we will divide the data into 7 bins or classes. Now let's calculate the minimum value from the data set. So in order to do this, first, usually when we formulate any cell, so how we do from Excel, so we type the equal sign, then type the minimum function, then you will see the pop up the minimum function. You have to double click it, then you have to give the data range. Data range is this 155 to 105. In order to input this data range, I will click first 155, then you will see the little arrow, then you have to go down until 405, then enter it. You will see the minimum value here. Then same way, we can calculate the maximum value using the formula. So again, go to this cell, equal sign, type the max, then double click it, click this value, go down until 405. So we got the maximum value. So after calculate the minimum and maximum value, we can find the range of the data set. How we can find the range? The calculation is maximum value minus the minimum value. So let's formulate that to this cell. First, type the equal sign, then I will click the maximum value minus, click the minimum value, then enter it. See, we got the 250 as a range of our data set. And then we have to calculate the number of classes is 7. We have to calculate the class width. So how we can find the class width? Range is 250. We have to divide by 7. So let's type it here, equal, click the 250, divide by this number, then equal. So since the class width must be a whole number, we have to round up to the nearest whole number. Here we can round 75 or 76. It's depending on if we get the 35 like 331. Its nearest whole number is 35. But here, when we make our create relative frequency distribution, we always choose the next close number. That means 36. I will type here 36 as our class to create the relative frequency distribution. In Excel, when we create in any table, it is important to name each columns. I will start by the column lower limit, upper limit, midpoint, frequency, relative frequency, cumulative frequency, relative cumulative frequency. For example, if we have a data ranging from 155 to 405, we want to divide for 7 classes. We will start by defining the lower limit of the first class, 155. Then to calculate the next class of the lower limit, how we do that? We will add the class width to the previous lower limit. So let's formulate this expression to the Excel. How we do that? First we type it, and our first lower limit is 155. We have to click it, then add 36. So then enter it. So to get the third class of lower limit, usually what we do, if you correctly formulated the Excel, we can click it and we can grab next 5 rows. So but if you see that it's not calculating properly. So what is the reason behind is, if you giving, this is 36 is the constant value, so we have to give to Excel 36 as a constant value. So how we do this? So let's delete it and go to this cell. You will see this 36 is G5, cell of G5. So I will go to here. Then how we can give the constant value to the Excel? We have to type it here, before and after $sign. I will type here $sign, then enter it. So then let's try dragging next 5 lower limits like this. 5. So you will see that it's generated, auto generated from the Excel. So next we have to make the first class of upper limit. To calculate this upper limits, how we can do it? Usually we go to the second cell of the lower limit and choose 191, then always subtract 1, that's been 190. I will type here 190. Then after that, again as previously, we will formulate here adding next upper limit, adding to 190, 36. So how we can type here, equal sign and click the 190 and add 36, but here also 36 is a constant value, so we have to give similar way like previously, the $sign. Then click it. So if we did organize properly, so you will see that when we drag it next to the next to create the next upper limits, so automatically should be calculated. So then to find the midpoints, so how we can calculate the midpoints for each class using the formula, we have to type here equal sign, then add the lower limit and upper limits and divide by 2. So how we can input this formula to this cell. So I will click this one, the cell, and add this cell and divide by 2. Ensure you use the parentheses to structure the formula correctly. So if you enter this way, let me explain you from here. So you will see that it's like how we entered the calculator. So this is how calculator can think this value, this cell value, add to this cell value divided by 2. But we need to first add 2, then how we can separate it, we use the parenthesis. So I will choose and type it parenthesis and separating. First we have to calculate these 2 values and divide by 2, then enter it. So we got the midpoint of these 2 points, 155 and 190. So if we do correctly, when you click here and drag it here, then you should get the form automatically next midpoints. Then find the frequency. So how we can find the frequency? To calculate the to find the frequency, you can find 2 ways. It's manually and also using the frequency function. So I will first give you to how we can find it manually. So what is the frequency mean? Here frequency mean we have to find the number of data points from include inside 155 to 190. So I will go to this data set and I want to count how many data points we can total it until 190. But here 155, 165 still less 190, less and include. And if you go here, 95 is more than 190. We can go until 190. So I will stop here. Then you will see that how many data points? 1, 2, 3. I will type here 3. Next upper limit 226. I have to go until 226 to total the how many number of points between 191 and 226. Okay, let's do this. 1. Let's go more. 226. But this is more than. Then I will stop from here. So how many data points? 1 and 2. I will type here 2. Next, until 262. 1, and this is less than. 266 is greater than, and I will stop by here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So if you want, I can go more than to find the next frequency too. So then upper limits is 298. I will go up to 298 here. So how many data points? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And now same 334. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 here. Then how many data points? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Stop here. And next one 370. It is 370 here. How many data points? 1, 2, 3, 4. Then until 406. 1, 2, 3. So then this is the manually how we can calculate the frequencies for each classes. So also you can go with the directly function using from the Excel. So I will go to here, then type equal, then type frequency. So we see the frequency function. So then first we have to input the data array. And bin, what is the data array? Data array means our data range to find the frequencies. So I will go to here, this is, and I will input, highlight, drag in until 405. This is our data range. And we have to give comma. And bin range, we have to give the each class upper limits. I will highlight here and drag until here. Then I give you bin range. That means each of classes of upper limits. So then enter it. You will see that whatever we found here, it's similarly we got here as a frequencies. So this is a manually, this is as a function from Excel. So then we found the frequencies, then we have to find the relative frequency. How we can find this? Relative frequency is, it's each class of frequency we divide by total frequency. We have to get the, first we have to total these frequencies. How we can find it? And highlight this and drag to here and go to the data or insert function formula and auto sum. Then you will see that we got the total summation of these frequencies. So how we can find the relative frequency? Each frequency for each class we have to divide by 30. So let's type into this cell equal, click this cell, divide by total of the cell and enter it. So let me input one more, equal this frequency divide by 30. So you will see that we will get the like 8, 9 more decimals. So if you want to get only for round for only 3 decimal, so how we can do this? Okay, let's go to here and type it here, round function. Then when round function comes, so we have to get how many decimals you want to round for your frequencies, relative frequencies. So I will round for 3 decimal. Then enter it. So then same thing, you have to drag until here. So why didn't get exactly this? So because this value, that's mean summation of this, we have to write here, we have to input here as a constant value. This is our L20. So I will go to L20, I will type here as a constant. Then enter it. When you divide, you see then everything is programmized. We got the relative frequency values. If you did here correctly the calculations. So how we can check it? We have to total the relative frequencies of this column. How we can do this? So we need to highlight here all the way down, then go to the formula and find the auto sum. So we see that we got 1. That's mean we did accurately the relative frequencies. Next, we calculate the cumulative frequency by adding up frequencies from the first class to the current class. So in here we don't have a more class to get calculated. We start from here, so the cumulative frequency is 3. When we go to the next class, so we have to add the current class values to add with this. So how we can input to here as a formula. So equal, add this plus this value. Well, this is current class. So how we can find the cumulative frequency? Type input the equal and 5 add with current values. So same way we can drag here to calculate the next values of cumulative frequencies. If you did correctly, this should be 30 should be similar to the number of data points in my data set. So how we can find the relative frequency? To calculate the relative frequency, divide each cumulative frequency by the total frequency. So how we can formulate? Type equal and 3 divide by total frequency. It's 30. Enter it. But here also this is constant value. We don't change to. We have to change this cell formula. This is cell formula to this. This is N18, N12, and this is N18 as a constant. I will type is this and enter it. So if we do this, then others we can automatically generate. So if we did correctly, its total summation of the relative cumulative frequency should be 1. So then we created the relative frequency distribution. After we creating the frequency table, you can use it to create the histogram. From the histogram, you can analyze the data distribution and even fit the model or predict the future data trends. This process allows us to visualize and interpret the data effectively. We have already created the relative frequency distribution for the data. We will demonstrate how to visualize it as a histogram. First, I will select the frequencies column, then go to the insert bar, insert tab. From there I will choose the bar chart, 2D bar chart. Then when this graph appears, you can notice that it does not look the way we expect. For example, if we go to our expectation this way, so we have to change the titles, axis, and also like this look. So how we can do that? To change the chart axis, chart titles, first click the graph, then you will see the plus sign, then click the plus sign, then you can access, you can click the access, chart, and whatever you want to change. Grid line, then access. So let's go to the title charts on the title chart title. So we will go by our expectation. Histogram cell phones screen time. I will type there, change to the cell phone screen time. Screen time, and x-axis is times in minutes. Change to the times in minutes. Set, and y-axis title, frequency. Then we change the titles and the by x-axis names. Next we need to make the chart visually accurate for the histogram. So right now the bar have gaps between them, and which is not correct for the histogram. So to fix this, select the graph, then in the format data series, then I will click the graph, then double click it, so I didn't get, and double click, then you will see the gap width. I can adjust this width to 0, and also if you want the overlap is 0, then you will see that we get the bars without any gaps. Then also if you would like to make the charts more visually appealing, you can adjust the border colors and thickness. So I will change I want to get each of bars, it's the vertical lines. So click it, and we go to the color fill color symbol. Through you can see the color. I can change to the black color, and also thickness you can change a little bit more. Then you will see that it's vertical lines is appear. Then clearly we can see the dividend. So then if you want it more appealing, so we can make the border. So then I will go to here and black color, a little bit thicker border, and also inside border get the black, and keep the very thin border. So once these adjustments are made, you will have a clean and professional looking histogram. This is how we create a histogram and relative frequency distribution in Microsoft Excel. Thank you.